Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the iPhone SE first edition in 2021 and if it's still worth it to buy it in 2021, all the reasons that you should buy and you shouldn't buy, all of that we're going to discuss in this video. But before we go ahead and get started, if you guys are new to our channel, we do a lot of tech news reviews and giveaways, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you guys are in the market for one of the newer phones or even an older phone like the iPhone SE that we have here in our hand, make sure you guys check out the link in the description section for those phones. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. First thing first is the iPhone SE release date. It was released in March of 2016, and in 2021 it's pretty much over 5 years right now for this phone, and a lot has changed in terms of the iPhone. But one thing we start to notice is even with the design of the iPhone SE here, as you can see here, it has the similar body build of the iPhone 5 lineup and the 5S. Pretty much what Apple is starting to bring back with the 12 lineup, a pretty much identical resemblance in the design of both of these two phones. So really shocking for a lot of Apple user to see that Apple went away from having that curve to having that more defined bezel back again on the iPhone 12 lineup. But this video is about the iPhone SE, so let's stick with the iPhone SE. So the iPhone SE, like the other iPhones, it comes with your base silver, space gray, where we have here gold, and then the special rose gold color. So you're able to get it in multiple colors. In terms of storage, you're able to get it from 16 gig, which doesn't seem like a lot. And if you're a person that utilizes more storage, you're able to get it at a max of 128 gig. And that's pretty much the main factor in terms of the iPhone SE that you're going to look at. It doesn't seem like a lot considering that the iPhone 12 here starts at the 128 gig, and nowadays 16 gig is really much for the base model of it. But the thing about this phone is a really lightweight phone here we have here. It's only a 4-inch display, just super light, really small. If you really just lay side by side with the 12 here, you see how huge the iPhone 12 Pro is versus the SE. But this isn't quite a comparison video. We're going to stick to the iPhone SE here, and as you see here, we're actually able to update it to iOS 14, and we did a video recently on iOS 14 on the iPhone SE and how well it holds up. And it's impressive that it's able to get the iOS 14 update, which we weren't quite sure that it was going to be able to get, but it is able to get it and do a lot more of it. So let's talk about why the iPhone SE might still be worth it in 2021 for you. First thing first, it's super budget friendly. You're able to actually get this around $70-$80, less than $100 in most places if you look around. That's why we included the link in the description section for you guys. And the thing about this phone is that budget weight compared to almost paying over $1,000 like the iPhone 12 lineup. You're paying about 1/10 of the price, and that's why it makes it a great secondary phone for you if it's a backup phone that you need, or if you're simply a person that do not care about all the fancy features, you just want to be on a supported iOS that runs well and can do the basic calling and texting without really any issue. This phone pretty much suits that, even for light browsing and all of that. It does pretty much exceptional job in that area for you. The next thing we want to talk about is the design. Of course, the design, as you can see here, it's stylish like the iPhone 12 lineup here. It has that fingerprint reader, and if you're kind of stuck in terms of not upgrading to a newer phone like the iPhone 10 and above that introduces Face ID, and you like the fingerprint reader, which is really a handy feature right now considering the situation that's going around the world. Apple is actually rumored to bring on a on-screen home button just for that reason on the 13 lineup. So we might see a virtual home button come up, but the home button is just that silky design that really does stick on to it. And for a lot of Apple user, it's a feature that they doesn't seem to get away from, and they love it a lot. The other thing around, just talking about the physical design is that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack that's still available, unlike the newer lineup of the iPhone 12 here that you don't have that. So everything that you need the lightning port to listen to music, so which sometimes creates a limitation if you're looking to charge and listen to the music. Well, you won't have that issue with the iPhone SE. And the next reason why the iPhone SE is still worth it in 2021 is the fact that it supports iOS 14. And we talk about this in our other video. Is iOS 14 is the latest update. iPhone 6, for example, wasn't able to get it. The 6S is the oldest model you can get besides the iPhone SE first edition 1. And the fact that you're able to get iOS 14 on it is it allows you to be on a supported software, and with that, of course, a lot of new features come in, like your back tap feature that we see these larger app icons here. As you can see, we have a couple of them over here. We're able to see things like app library. We're able to also see things like picture in picture mode here. As you can see, we'll play a video, for example. You're able to go ahead and just multitask by simply clicking on this button, and you can see you can get to the home screen. We're able to play a video, which is neat for a small 4-inch phone. We're able to do that on it, and a lot more. Of course, in our iOS update video, we talk about all of that, and that pretty much determines it that even on a phone that's that old, you're getting the iOS update, which pretty much makes the difference between a phone that's not able to get iOS update on it. And of course, the phone being just budget friendly, your fingerprint reader, like headphone jack, just being lightweighted, that 4.1-inch display, it's easy to hold, it's stylish, is the reason why the iPhone SE is still relevant in 2021. And one other factor we forget to mention is that even though this phone only has a single camera on the back, it's actually able to take some phenomenal pictures on it in of course HDR. And if you go into video recording, you're able to go from all the way to 4K at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, there's only one setting, and if we go into camera, we'll notice the options that we get for camera for video recording. You'll go all the way from 720 HD at 30 frames per second all the way to 4K. So it does, for a small phone, it's still able to do a lot, and a lot of features packed into it, and it's the reason why it's still a relevant phone in 2021. Now let's talk about a few things why you might not get the iPhone SE first edition in 2021. Well, of course, although that it gets iOS 14 update, we don't think that it will be getting the iOS 15 update. So if you're thinking long term wise, unfortunately, iOS 14 might be the last update. So it might be relevant for 2021, but come 2020, when iOS 15 comes out later this year, or in 2022, the iPhone SE, it's going to be sort of at the end of life for its software. The other thing about the phone is the battery isn't that great. It's a smaller battery on it. It does last you. If you're a really light user, you might be able to get away on a full day if you're just simply using it for calling and light browsing and apps here and there, like social media apps and such. Might be worth it. But if you're more on a medium to heavy user, you probably won't go throughout the day. If you're a medium user, you probably need to charge it halfway through the day. And if you're a heavy user, probably need to charge it at least 3 or 4 times a day if you're just constantly using it, especially if you're playing in games or just multitasking on your phone all day. You're gonna need to go update. The other thing about the iPhone SE, although if you person that prefers smaller phone, that's good, but with more the newer smartphones out there that are going to sort of the bulkier design and such, you might be looking to get a phone that has a bigger display to be able to watch things like Netflix and YouTube, things that are better suitable for a bigger display. Of course, streaming on a smaller display, it does stream well, it's just not well enough. The other thing, of course, coming on the display, it's still that LCD display compared to the newer lineup phones that have sort of that OLED to it. And then the next point we want to talk about is 5G coming into play, which we see on the iPhone 12 lineup. If you're a carrier that supports 5G and you want to start taking advantage of 5G, unfortunately, the iPhone SE does not have 5G compatibility. It's another pretty much a con for this phone. And the other thing we want to talk about is the phone, unfortunately, is not water resistant like the iPhone, a newer iPhone lineup. So if you're taking it from a dive, it will get water damage, and pretty much you're going to be screwed there, not being able to do things. So we got to be careful when you do take it out. And of course, those are some of the reasons why you might not get the iPhone SE. But depending on what you're looking for, are you looking for a budget friendly phone, lightweight, small phone that's relevant in 2021? It still gets the update, and it's just a phone that will get you through most of 2021, no doubt there. And just being the fact that it gets you all of that in that small device itself. So hopefully this video is helpful in our review. We want to hear from you guys if you guys are using the iPhone SE in 2021, or if you guys upgraded from it, which one did you upgrade to it? Leave a comment in the comment section about your comments about this phone, and hopefully this video is helpful for reviewing the iPhone SE in 2021. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. See you guys next time.